is WTF Nation Radio.
WTF Nation Radio. WTF Nation Radio.
A lot of people look at us as robots or just out doing a job, but everything we see and do affects us just like it does everybody else.
A lot of problems with first responders and veterans is that now we're in a battlefield that's very different.
I've lost more friends to suicide than I did in combat, and it really hurts.
When you push the human envelope to those maximum extents, physically, psychologically, emotionally, and spiritually, and then you pull that plug, nothing prepares you for the silence. Nothing prepares you for that void.
You can't come that close to death without it having some effect on you.
I'll never forget my wife telling me, you know, you're not the same Brett that I married.
What War Horses does is it puts you in that environment to, in essence, look in the mirror. But that mirror's that horse. And that horse is going to tell you where you're at.
You got to relax. You got to calm down. You got to slow your mind down and just think about this one thing, controlling that horse.
The first thing we do before we get on a horse, we breathe. Let go of everything. Let go of everything in your head. If I don't let go of everything, I cannot be present with the horse.
It's magic. I just started crying. It was the first time in my life that I literally let everything go.
Compassion, generosity, love, all of these things trickle back into what it is to be a human being.
It's completely changed me.
All the confidence I had lost, it started coming back working with these horses. They've given me my life back.
Everything stated on WTF Nation Radio is to be considered the opinion of the person that stated it, and not an official representation of WTF Nation Radio or U.S. Army WTF Moments.
Price does not include tax, title, or license. Some assembly required. Each item sold separately. Batteries not included. Objects in mirror are closer than they appear. If conditions persist, contact a physician. Individual results may vary. Keep out of the reach of children. Avoid prolonged exposure to direct sunlight. Keep in a cool, dark place. And
please enjoy the show. Shots.
I don't know shit about fuck.
Hit the button. All right, everybody. Let's get this party started here on Friday, the 7th day of April 2023. Holy crap. Good Friday is upon us. I guess every Friday is a good Friday unless I don't know, this wasn't a good day for Jesus back in the day. Today is the day that he was crucified, and that's really not really a good day. So Good Friday is a Christian holiday commemorating the crucifixion of Jesus and his death at Calvary. So that's what Good Friday is. And then of course Sunday is going to be Easter Sunday, when they rolled the stone back and he came out and said, "Hey, I'm back, bitches," or something. He said something.
Catch me outside.
Catch me outside. So Sunday is Easter Sunday, and the sports bar will not have a show that night. King Smith is going to be busy dressing up like the Easter Bunny, and Coach is likely going to be in a diabetic coma from eating all of the Cadbury eggs. So they're not going to. They're already calling it in. They're not even going to do a show on Sunday night because it is Easter, and they're going to be spending time with their family and their childrens. So we will not be having a show on Sunday night. Ice is going to be heading back to Vietnam later this week, and he will still have a show on Monday. And we'll have shows the rest of the week, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday. Ice will not be doing a show on Thursday. Ice is going to have Christopher Martini as a guest, and CQ is going to be airing his interview with Rocco Vargas. So who's Christopher Martini? Christopher Martini will join the Monday edition to talk about how he's giving the opportunity to educate veterans and first responders about filmmaking and other upcoming projects. If you go to triplemartini.com, you can see everything that Chris Martini does. He's pretty badass. And everybody knows Rocco Vargas. He's an Army veteran with 3 combat deployments and with a 75th Ranger Regiment. He got out in 2009 and became a federal agent with Homeland Security, and he left that federal career behind to pursue a film and television career. So you may have seen Rocco in the Drinking Bros podcast or Matt Best's YouTube channel, or maybe you've seen him in movies such as Range 15, Brothers in Arms, or Gilly Lopez in one of the 38 episodes of the Mayans Motorcycle Club. So he will be on Tuesday. I was supposed to air last Tuesday, but I think we're having some network issues, and that wasn't able to happen last week. So tune in this Tuesday, and that's going to happen. Now, we got a lot of exciting guests coming up, so please pay attention to our posts and whatnot when we start promoting our guests. So what's going on, Pookie? Happy Friday to you.
No,
Yeah.
Not much.
Not much?
I live a very simple,
I know.
life.
I expect, one of these days I'm going to ask you that question. You're like, man, I killed a mountain lion with my bare hands today. And you're still going to have like blood on your beard and shit.
They don't have them around here. It's a very, I think the worst thing around here is maybe a meth head that I might have to deal with.
I killed a meth head with my bare hands, and there'd be blood still on your beard right there. Oh, what the hell was I seeing? I saw that there was a great white shark that washed up on the beach outside your house. Not your house, but it was on Myrtle Beach.
This is a big breeding ground area for the great whites. They track them a lot, and that's why you're not allowed to fish for sharks on the pier anymore, because
it attracts more sharks.
Yes.
Yeah, I thought that was a big one too. It was relatively big, 10 foot, I guess. Is that big?
It's kind of small.
Is it? It looked kind of small, but you know how the perspective changes when you
a
take
big
pictures.
great white's like about 13, 14 feet. That's a big one.
Okay.
But,
10. It's bigger than I like.
I wouldn't want to mess around with one. This is the time of year. No one wants to go swimming in the water around here anyways this time of year because it's cold. But I think it's a tiger and a bull shark, so you got to worry about more around here than the great whites.
That makes sense. Yeah, I don't hang around in cold water, man. If it's not near body temperature, man, I don't like it. Unless you're talking about the Guadalupe River, then that's like super cold water. Super cold water coming out of the bottom of the dam. But if you have enough beer, it just doesn't matter. Speaking of beer, today, according to the Old Farmer's Almanac, is National Beer Day. So, happy National Beer Day. It is also Good Friday. So, that is like a double awesome, super double bueno celebrations for today. We already have, folks in there just, Arthur England saying he's got the grill fired up and beers are chilling. Let's get it. Hell yeah. Matthew Hawthorne was asking, how do you keep that beard clean?
I don't.
You don't?
I've woken up some mornings with a chicken wing stuck in.
You say the magic word and you pull out a Dorito.
It's the flavor saver, sometimes, I've woken up some mornings with a pork chop in my pocket.
Andrew asks, where does Pookie live?
I live near Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Murder Beach, South Carolina. I like Murder Beach, South Carolina. South Park just did an episode.
Oh, did they really?
Yes, I was dying. I was like, oh God, they depicted it perfect.
Did they say Murder Beach?
No, they called it Myrtle Beach. We're going on a vacation. It was Mr. Garrison and his whatever boyfriend or whatever it is. But you know how the last season he was portrayed as Trump. So he came to Myrtle Beach.
Okay.
And there was a MAGA store, and he started losing his mind.
My parents are both. Actually, my dad isn't so much. He's not vocal about his politics. My mom is very much so. And there's a bar down the street from their house. You go down 2 blocks and this way 2 blocks. And there's nothing. The last 2 years that I've gone to visit them for Christmas, they're like, "Oh, do you want to see the Trump bar?" And this bar is nothing but Trump stuff all over it, like flags and, let's go Brandon posters and flags and.
Walk down Ocean Boulevard here, and you'll see exactly that.
Are you serious?
South Park did a really like Sports Bar even said they had it's the Gay Dolphin. It's a kind of like a souvenir shop arcade kind of thing.
Okay,
it's been around since the '60s. So they had it, but it was called the Gay Whale, I think, for
copyright or whatever.
Yeah, but they drew Ocean Boulevard out like perfect. It was like, holy shit! There's trash on the road, like normal. Oh, this is perfect. The perfect representation of
it's like they did their research before they made that episode. I mean, not everybody's been to Myrtle Beach.
If you haven't, don't.
Stay away. It's not worth it.
It's not worth the time.
I don't know, man. We got kind of a full plate tonight. I got a lot. There's a lot of things to talk about. I saw somewhere mentioned it's National Beer Day, huh? I think I'll have a Bud Light just to piss off some Trumpsters. So yeah, we're going to talk about Dylan Mulvaney and all that other stuff between Bud Light and Nike and all that stuff. Talk about we talked about my last weekend here in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex was a huge weekend socially, recreationally. We had Taylor Swift. It was opening weekend for the Rangers, and then we had a 3 days of fucking Taylor Swift concerts, which was pretty cool. Yeah, we're going to talk about a whole bunch of stuff, and I hope we get to all of it. If we don't get to all of it, then we don't get to all of it. So it is Easter weekend, and I'm gonna put this out there right just today. Sandwich restaurant Subway is joining with Cadbury to launch a new, if perhaps strange-sounding creation just in time for Easter. This is a true story. This is not The Onion. This is not Duffel Blog. This is actually happening. The 6-inch sandwich, only available in the UK on Good Friday, is made from the chain's Italian white bread and has a chocolate cream egg melted in the middle of it. Some haters have already weighed in that this is, quote, absolutely disgusting, or rejected it with a firm, plain no. While another naysayer offered a gentler appraisal, saying, I appreciate the creativity, but I don't think I'll be in line for this one. Only 500 of the special sandwiches will be made, and they will be available for free, by the way, at just a few of the select Subway locations in England and central London and in Liverpool. So if you catch yourself in Liverpool or London this weekend, you can pick up a bit of a diabetes burger, or whatever you want to call this thing.
I found it so hard that the empire that controlled most of the world because of spices.
this nation almost took over the United States.
Yes, but they held a spice trade, like most of the spice trade in the world, and they put Cadbury eggs on an Italian roast.
They have some of the most bland food on the earth.
I don't know. It's like they're stuck after the bombings, the Luftwaffe's bombings in London. They've been stuck eating canned food with no seasoning.
Cans of spotted dick.
I can't do it. Beans and toast. So yay.
So yeah, that's a thing, I guess. I don't know. I don't even think I'd try it.
No, wouldn't touch it with a 10-foot pole.
I don't really like the Cadbury cream egg. That's not one of my things. I never liked it. It was just it was snotty. It's just it's a texture thing.
I think in Tokyo, Japan, they have a Cadbury egg that pops out once a year. They're really hard to get your hands on. They're cookies and cream instead of like that weird caramel, whatever you want to call it, center.
Okay.
And those are pretty good. But I'm not a big fan of Cadbury eggs.
I'm just impatient. I think I would be impatient trying to get all that aluminum foil off the egg.
Yeah. It's like those old coins you used to get.
You know, I got one of those. I ordered something online and it came with a gold coin. And I'm just like, hey, that's kind of cool. So I threw it in the freezer.
I do like what's the name of the brand? I can't remember. It comes out of the UK. It's very popular in the UK, but you only get it in the States during Christmas time. The chocolate oranges.
I've never had one of those. It's intriguing, though, because I do like orange and chocolate combined. They're a good flavor together.
Well, you crack it open. It's got the foil wrapped around it. You open it up, and it looks like an orange. And then you just pull a slice off of it and eat it. And it's. I mean, the way they put it together is ingenious, and I love the things. Dark chocolate, milk chocolate. It's pretty good. Normally, I stockpile. You know, have a couple of them because you can't get them throughout the year. Normally here, unless it's the holidays for some reason.
Dark chocolate. Anything dark chocolate is my jam. I really like dark chocolate.
Yes.
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 So we got this. We had a big weekend in Arlington, and there's this kid. If you're not from Arlington, if you don't drive around Arlington or go to the Parks Mall, you probably don't know him. I mean, I think People Magazine came and did something on him. But we got this kid in town. His name is Jalen Ford, and he lives in Arlington. He works on the median outside of the Parks Mall, spinning signs for businesses. And even when he's not out there getting paid for spinning signs and advertising for businesses, he's out there like playing music in his headset, and he's fucking dancing and waving at everybody. He just seems like a super happy dude. I see him a lot, and I recognize him as that happy dude outside the Parks Mall. And I just recently learned that he has quite a following on social media. So, you know, he's got a TikTok channel. And there's like community Facebook pages that just highlight him as just him being the happiest motherfucker ever. So locally, Jalen Ford's name comes from his daily performances on South Cooper Street in Arlington. His stage is the crosswalks in front of the Parks Mall, dancing for hours at a time, spinning signs for businesses, and making money. He says, "This is my hobby now, and I get paid for doing it." He goes, "I do it every day. You get in the cold, in the rain, when it's hot." He goes, "I just do it every day." So Ford is autistic, and his family said that the rhythm and the routine click with him, and it works. So his performance he's been doing this for 3 years. I didn't realize it was that long. Daily honks and waves from drivers turned into a large social media following, but the local celebrity has an idol of his own. The common soundtrack to Ford's dances are Taylor Swift songs. And when Taylor announced her Eras Tour would be coming to AT&T Stadium, community members came together to organize a GoFundMe to get him a ticket to the show. Ford spent $1,500 to buy a floor seat just a few rows from the stage. During Sunday's concert, this is the cool part. During the concert, Taylor Swift came down and she was playing 22. Security guards came and approached Jalen. And the security guards were like, "Hey, sir, come here right now." And he thought he was in trouble. He was like, "Am I in the wrong seat? Am I in the wrong section? I'm just having a good time. I'm not bothering anybody." He was wondering if he did something. But they pulled him past the crowd, and they passed the barrier, and they got him right up next to the stage. And toward the end of the song, Taylor Swift danced down with her entourage and handed him her hat. During the show, it was autographed and everything. It was just pretty cool. Of course, Jalen's got this video on his TikTok, and it's really cool. I wanted to play it, but Taylor Swift is really, 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 really bad, or really, really good, depending on how you look at it, with doing the copyright thing. So I just, trying to stay out of trouble, I'm not going to play the clip. But he's so anyway, Jalen said that the real hero of all of this is the person that made that happen. He has no idea who orchestrated that. So I'm thinking it was just, I don't know, maybe it was a message to Taylor's people. The GoFundMe did collect like $3,000, so maybe they paid an extra $1,500 for her to come and do that. But it was just really, really cool because she danced up right to him. I mean, it's hard to miss him. He's got blue hair, right? And took off her hat, gave it to him, blew him a kiss, and then the show continued. So if you want to check out the video, just Google like Jalen Ford or Swift, or go to like Jalen Ford. Just go to TikTok and just type in Jalen Ford, and you'll see all of his stuff up there. So like we mentioned last week, Arlington was super busy for entertainment. The Texas Rangers had their home opener, and Taylor Swift had a 3-show run, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at AT&T Stadium. All 3 shows were sold out. Total attendance for her event was 210,607 people. That's a lot. So Pookie did the math, because he's a smart motherfucker. And he said he just came down, he tried to generalize everything and said if all the tickets were $300, the venue would have brought in $63 million. And if Taylor Swift had kept just 10% of that, she would have made $6.3 million. And I've got no idea what her contract said, but everyone involved deserves to get paid. Taylor, of course, but the promoters, managers, sound engineers, videographers, visual and lighting technicians, the staff who herd the cats, truck drivers, airlines, security, the people cleaning up at the end of each show and then making AT&T Stadium look brand new for the next group of 70,000 fans. It was an impressive concert series, and there were very little or no issues. I didn't see anything. I didn't see anything in the news about, so-and-so got robbed, or this guy's car got stolen, or this guy got injured. There was nothing like that. It was pretty cool. What's up, Musa? How you doing, buddy?
Hey, Musa.
So I'm really happy she had a successful 3-concert series. That's just pretty cool. I'm glad Jalen was able to do that. Dude, he was happy as shit. He said he didn't sleep that night after the concert. He slept with the hat. He's a huge Taylor Swift fan.
That's awesome. Good to see things.
And I see him all the time. I just never put not like 2 and 2 together, but I see him on the road all the time.
One of those locals. It's kind of like Houston's got Mattress Mac. You see him, you're like, holy crap, that was Mattress Mac. Oh crap, man. He's just normal everyday dude, just minding his business up in a big city somewhere.
Dude, Mattress Mac has not had a good year.
With his gambling?
With his gambling, yeah. He's lost a lot of money.
Yeah, well, he can do it.
Well, I mean, he's got it, but it's just like, how much can you make selling mattresses? I mean, I guess, is that like a super common...
Have you ever been into the gallery furniture? Next time you're in Houston, just take a trip. Just take a trip. You'll understand.
So he's got the quantity. He's got the volume.
If you're buying furniture in Houston, there's probably at one point Mattress Mac had some sort of connection.
He had his hands on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. So I do have some, and I guess this first part of the program is going to be like entertainment news. Got some sad news. I guess it's sad news. So back in September last year, we shared a story about the passing of Coolio. That was in September. He was 59 years old. At the time, there was no cause of death indicated. The LA County Medical Examiner's report was released, and he said that Coolio died from a fentanyl overdose.
Dear Lord.
He had traces of heroin, methamphetamine in his system at the time of death also. Other significant conditions listed were cardiomyopathy, asthma, and recent PCP use. In spite of these findings, his manner of death was ruled an accident. I hadn't seen him in the media for a very, very long time. I had no idea he was battling addiction like that.
Fentanyl will get you every time.
That just sucks, man. It just sucks. I didn't know. I mean, I don't know if his close friends or his family knew or whatever that he was going through. Yeah, Moose, I was thinking the same thing. The cardiomyopathy is interesting, but cardiomyopathy could have been because of drug use. I don't know. I'm not a doctor. I just practice these words and I say them.
I don't know nothing about medicine.
Neither do I. Yeah, whenever I come across some stupid medicine or some illness or ailment or whatever, and it's got all these words or it's all these letters in it, I'll put it in, and I'll just say I'll type it into Google, and then I'll follow it with pronounce, and then I'll have someone up there that actually pronounces it the way it's supposed to be pronounced. And then in the document that I'm reading, I'll type it out like it sounds, not like it's spelled, but like it sounds, so I don't mess it up too bad. Yeah, it's a heart muscle disease. I guess, what is that? Is it an enlarged heart, or it's a hardening of the heart? I don't know. I'm not a doctor. Couldn't tell you. So on a more upbeat entertainment news, School of Rock. It's looking as though musician and actor Jack Black will be jamming with the School of Rock kids, who are not exactly kids anymore, 20 years after the film's original release. While various cast members have reunited in the past for special occasions, Jack Black confirmed in a recent interview that he's planning an epic reunion with now all grown-up School of Rock co-stars, which include Miranda Cosgrove, who ended up going to like Disney. She was a Disney girl, wasn't she? Joey Gatos Jr., Rivica Reyes, Alicia Allen, Brian Falduto, and Caitlin Hale, and more later this year. You know, he's done, he did like a 5-year reunion, 10-year reunion. He did a 15, and now he's doing a 20. But this is like with more of the cast members. I love that movie, dude. If I had, if I've got it on DVD, and if there's nothing on, I've got a handful of DVDs. And
what messes me up is you said that movie came out 20 years ago?
20 years ago.
No way.
Yeah. Old man.
Yeah. Speaking of Jack Black, this is more of a CQ pop culture thing, but
the pick of destiny.
Not the pick of destiny. This is Star Wars related. I'm a huge Star. Jack Black. Spoiler alert. No. Plug your ears if you haven't watched it, but you should have watched it by now. But Jack Black made a cameo appearance with Lizzo and the Mandalorian. This last episode of the Mandalorian.
You know, I read some of the reviews on that.
Star Wars fans nowadays are just they just nitpick, and that's the best way to put it. Just
they're not happy. They're not happy seeing like, hey, that's Jack Black and Lizzo. It's like,
unless there's a space wizard waving his space wand around, like I'm gonna piss off some Star Wars fans, but they get super mad. Oh, I didn't see no lightsabers. I didn't see no blaster battles. Like sometimes you just gotta, throw some story in there, because that might, what do they call it? The proverbial shotgun in the room in a book. That might lead to something at that point.
Yeah.
Oh, dear Lord. That's me on the screen.
I know. It's all Pookie.
No, the Lizzo was in there as a cameo. They had Christopher Lloyd as a cameo.
Oh, nice.
Mm-hmm. They did a lot of cameos. It's the Camelonian is what people were calling.
That's pretty cool. They ought to bring more in there.
I mean,
make it interesting.
Danny Trejo did a cameo in Book of Boba Fett, which was pretty cool. You see him come up, you're like, oh shit, that's Machete.
He's gonna kill somebody.
Yeah, 20 years, dude. That's nuts. Getting old.
Yeah, Patrick, I got him. He's in a rectangle now. How's that?
Now I'm by myself, freaking me out. he let me out of my cage.
So I guess more entertainment news. Let me see. This is still more entertainment news. Let's talk about this guy right here. That's not him. Not that guy. This guy. This guy right here. More than 25 years later, Diddy is still paying a steep price for using unauthorized sample of the Police's Every Breath You Take on his Notorious B.I.G. tribute called I'll Be Missing You. The hip-hop mogul has revealed that he pays former Police singer Sting $5,000 a day in royalties. Diddy tweeted the number as a correction to a resurfaced 2018 interview in which Sting confirmed that he receives $2,000 a day from the rapper. He goes, nope. This is a quote. He said, nope, $5K a day. Love my brother at official Sting on Twitter.
Oh.
At the time of the interview, Sting says that we are still very good friends right now. It was a beautiful version of that song. So he's paid him more than $45 million just for sampling that song.
That's royalties out the wazoo.
Dude, Sting doesn't have to do shit. He can sit around. He can golf all day. He can, he kind of looks like David Lee Roth.
Kinda.
Sting kind of looks like David Lee Roth now.
Kinda.
I just realized that. Patrick Lowe says, damn, that was the first MP3 I downloaded with Napster on dial-up.
Dang, I wish I still had that t-shirt. I had a Napster thanks for sharing t-shirt. I don't know what happened to it.
Was that from Napster merch, or was that someone just made that shirt?
No, it was legit. Like back when Napster had come out, I bought it at a Hot Topic. I think when I was like a teenager, I was like, "Oh, this is dope." I don't know.
You know what's funny about Napster is my first. I guess when I started building my music catalog, it was mostly because of Napster, or it was due to Napster, and then they. Of course, they were sued, and
Metallica.
I don't know if this was a Metallica thing or if they were just getting a lot of undue attention. So they convinced credit card companies to not accept a payment going towards Napster. So the way that I got around it, and a lot of other people got around it, I went and there was a very small surcharge on this, but I would go and buy rubles and then pay my Napster bill with rubles as opposed to American dollars.
Never once did I pay for a song on Napster. I would backdoor the living heck out of it.
Dude, it was like, it was like 10 cents a download. Come on, man. It was really nothing.
I was a teenager at the time. I didn't have 10 cents to download. I was freaking pirating the hell out of anything I get my hands on. Thank you for statute of limitations, by the way.
Yeah, right. So yeah, I got that, and then finally I wasn't able to do that anymore, and then Napster went the way of it just went away. It just went away, and then who said it? Holly said LimeWire came after that.
Was the new. And you had FrostWire, which was BitTorrent. My big thing before Napster even kicked off was I would use IRC.
Oh, the IRC platform, yeah.
Yeah, you use IRC and you could direct download, so you could search certain. You'd have to be super careful and know what you're doing, but you could search for MP3s. And
don't misspell anything.
Yeah, don't misspell anything because you're gonna get in trouble, But you download whatever songs you want and type it in on the search. If you knew how to use IRC back in the day, you were set. You could find anything you wanted to. Old @locator commands, yeah.
So
OG internet, no?
That's really OG. So here we got now we get to our last segment on entertainment, and I guess I kind of classify this as entertainment. Dylan Mulvaney. You've seen her name in the news lately, and some celebrities out there blowing up cases of Bud Light with God.
MP5.
Was that an MP5?
It was an MP5, fully auto MP5 at that.
Yeah.
Hey, bro, you got your tax stamp on that?
Maybe it was a friend's.
Oh no! Oh God, that's even more of a crime.
I know. So anyway, Dylan Mulvaney is a trans actor, comic, and content creator. Her videos have received over 1 billion views across TikTok and Instagram. In 2022, she was awarded the TikTok Trailblazer Award for her viral series Days of Girlhood, documenting her transition journey, which means he went from a male to a female. Pre-pandemic, Dylan played Elder White in the Book of Mormon Broadway musical, fresh out of college from Cincinnati Conservatory of Music. Dylan now lives in Los Angeles and hopes to bring trans stories into the mainstream. So recently, Anheuser-Busch hired Dylan to be a spokesperson, a persona for Bud Light. And some people are losing their shit. Country music star Travis Tritt said that he's removing all Anheuser-Busch products from his rider on his tour. And Kid Rock went up, bought a case of Bud Light, and tried to shoot it. He's a horrible shot, by the way. It took him a long time to kill that case of Bud Light. So what the hell's going on? Bud Light has been an advocate for gay rights in alternative lifestyles and AIDS research since the 90s. I don't fucking get why everybody's all up in arms right now. They're not the only ones. Will Travis Tritt and Kid Rock also boycott Miller products? Di Serrano, Alizé, Hennessy, Southern Comfort, Glenlivet, Absolute Vodka, Sky Vodka. The list goes on. I personally hope that the ad campaign with Dylan works out. So it is weird to me. So Dylan Mulvaney is a personality. I think he's a brand ambassador for Nike, and he's a brand ambassador for sports bras, which is really, really weird because he's a biological male, right? And he's doing brand ambassador work for Nike for sports bras. That's a little weird to me. I don't give a damn what Bud Light's doing. I really don't care. Because if you look at all of this stuff, I mean, Johnny Walker Red, Miller, Southern Comfort, Coors,
Jack Daniels.
I don't know if Jack Daniels is doing it, but I mean,
yeah.
But I mean, are these guys gonna like boycott or shoot up a case of Jack Daniels or Southern Comfort or whatever? It just seems ridiculous, and it's stupid. It's not a good look.
I don't know. I was paying attention to Anheuser-Busch's stocks. They reflected a little bit different on that. I just saw those like mild red tick.
Did they go down?
Yeah, it went down a little bit, but it bounced right back. You know, news hit. Everyone was like, "Oh, boycott!" You know how the stock is. People are boycotting, sell. You know, like it's just I got very mixed feelings on this. Very mixed feelings on this. But I don't really want to get into it on the show. I mean, to tell you the truth, because it's like just my personal opinion on it. No?
Well, yeah. I mean, my personal opinion is I don't care.
I don't
if I drank Bud Light, if Bud Light was my beer, I'd be drinking Bud Light right now. Because I don't give a damn. I don't really care. It doesn't matter to me who Bud Light endorses or doesn't endorse.
That's the funny one I saw was Bud Light sponsoring, what was it? The Hook'em Horns.
I had that. Where is it?
Steelers, you know, like, I mean, I'm a Steelers fan. It kind of hurt me a little bit but then I can laugh at that because, I think you sponsored the Steelers.
Yeah, my upper left thing, it says, chill, Bud Light's been making gay cans for years. But I mean, all of these companies have. But why Bud Light? Because they were public in their. I mean, these right here, like you see this dude up on the. It was on the opening screen of the show. The opening screen of the show has this Bud Light thing on there. That was published in 1998. Bud Light's been doing this for years. They go back way back into the 90s, the early to mid 90s. I don't get what the big deal is. How is who Bud Light is using as a brand ambassador? How does that affect you? If you like Bud Light, drink it. If you like Miller Lite, drink it. If you like Heineken, drink it. I don't like Bud Light, so I don't drink Bud Light.
That's piss water to me. But
I mean,
give me a Bud Light, I'm gonna drink it if it's free. But I mean, I don't care. I really don't care. It's just it might have been. You know, the big thing about this might have been just the timing of it. No? With everything that happened in Nashville, that I don't know. That might be part of it.
So what is up with Nashville? There was a protest or whatever. 3 people got wrapped up into
Well, not like the Senate, the House.
Yeah. It was some
whatever.
politicians got wrapped up in protests and stuff, so they got voted out. Like one survived, 2 of them got voted out. There's going to be another revote on Monday to reinstate. But I mean, is that it? Is that what you're talking about?
No, I was talking about the shooting.
Oh, the trans shooting.
And then the Nashville protest kind of boiled into that because, I mean, I understand. I'm a constitutionalist. I'm all about free speech as long as you do it peacefully. You know, like it says, the right to peacefully assemble is all good and everything like that. But when you go out there and you start waving 7 fingers around for the 7 victims of the shooting, that kind of pisses me off a little bit. No?
Oh, was that what they were doing? I have no idea. I have no idea what they're...
Twitter. No, there's like there were 7 victims, 7 for Nashville. Blah, blah, blah. They were including the shooter as a victim because apparently the system oppresses everyone to the point where you want to go shoot innocent children, which I do not agree with. You know, like just like you know, if you're feeling that bad, don't hurt kids. Go get mental help. I mean, you're better off chewing on a bullet at that point than doing what that happened. But it's just. I don't know if it's in the wake of all this, and now it's just this. I mean, I don't know. It's just a very hard topic to really even beat on at that point because, I mean, I can understand like the conflict of interest. You know, some people are super religious. There's some like Tennessee is bigoted as heck from what I understand. I mean, that's why where isn't that where like KKK started and stuff like that. So I mean, there's a whole factor of everything just coming together. I can see where, you know, some people might be infuriated about the shit. No? To me, I don't care. It's just beer at that point. But
so the knife cuts both ways. Remember that shitstorm that happened when the Hogwarts came, and it was released, and there were reports of online gamers having their lives threatened for playing and promoting the game.
Yeah. Oh, yes, exactly. You know, well, I mean, that was certain members of the community that were going after, like, oh, we're going to boycott the game. But gamers were like, well, I'm still going to play the game. I remember that poor girl. What's her name? They had her crying on live stream because they were bullying the hell. How the hell do you bully someone for playing a video game?
Yeah, like shaming her for playing this game. And she just wants to have fun and play the game and support herself with her channel. I don't even know if she was a major streamer. She was just...
She's a pretty it's like a boyfriend and a girlfriend. They sit there and they sit next to each other. They talk while they're playing a game, and it got so bad that she had to get up. You could start seeing her tear up the way they were bullying her.
That sucks. I mean, for anybody, that sucks. I don't care. I mean, I don't know. The world's crazy. It's fucking crazy right now. This is clown world, and we're witnessing the effects of what clown world is.
I don't know. It's just I see things stuff like earlier today. I think it was today or yesterday with that swimmer. What's her name? I was just talking to you about that. I don't know if you saw that or not.
Oh, where she was attacked?
She was attacked. She was like held hostage for a good minute. They were demanding money from her, from what I'm understanding, from what I've been reading on the Twitterverse. What's her name? I wish I could pull her name up. It's crazy. She got attacked. She got hit by a dude. Quote unquote, I don't know. And nowadays I can't say dude anymore because
dude is non-gender specific, so you can say dude.
But I mean, got attacked, got hit. I mean, the cops were sitting there. They looked like they didn't even give a crap. But that's San Francisco, so it's. I mean, the whole thing.
Musa PBR is a Pabst Blue Ribbon.
PBR, yeah. It's just, I don't know. The world is just full blown clown world, like you said. It's just nuts. Like I can't grasp it anymore. And I feel bad for my grandfather because he sits there and he's just like confused as hell. Like he's just watching this shit go on TV. He's like, "What's that? Huh? What's that?" Like this is new news to me. You know?
Oh, it's Riley Gaines.
Riley Gaines. There you go. Yeah, she was speaking against transgender athletes playing in women's sports. And she was mobbed, pretty much.
Which I support. Was that before or after the White House spokeslady said, trans people need to stand up and fight?
It might have been. That's a hard one. I have to look that one up because that might be what do they call it? Inciting.
Inciting. It's just it's just like September or whatever the January 6th bullshit.
January 6th. Yeah. I mean, That's where I cut the line at this thing, because like it started with the BLM riots. Well, mostly peaceful and fiery protests.
Mostly peaceful fires were set.
Yeah, and then you had January 6th. One, the media just straight up jumped on as an insurrection. And we look at the videos. We know that the Fed was involved with it. Then you go into this thing in Tennessee where they're doing it, and it's a peaceful protest. No, it's just a peaceful protest. You know, just where do you draw a line with peaceful protest and insurrection?
At what time does a peaceful protest become a riot?
An insurrection. Yeah.
Or an insurrection, yeah.
Yeah, at that point, it's like whatever the media at this point points their finger and whatever keyword they say, that's where it goes at that point. And I don't like that. I'm all about like equal law, not a two-tiered system. Like I've been seeing lately, it seems like this massive two-tiered system in our legal system that's been going down. Like one person gets arrested for the most, or indicted for the most ridiculous charges, and then right now I think I was just reading news articles that another person is having banking information subpoenaed by and it's nuts. You hold classified emails on your private server at your house, and nothing happens, but then submarine tech takes a picture and boom, he's in jail for 5 years or some crap like that.
Can we get Ray Epps? Ray Epps, like the basketball player Ray Epps?
Ray Epps. Oh, the mysterious Ray Epps. My big thing is, where's the pipe bomber at?
Oh, really? Yeah.
They were able to find the grandma who looked lost and like, how did I wind up here waving her flag around? They were able to get her, but they couldn't find the pipe bomber. The supposed pipe bomber. I just, none of it makes sense to me anymore. It's just, it makes my brain hurt, really.
My brain is in pain.
Let's turn off the news in America for 1 week. I agree with that. I can get everyone just forced to just mind their own business for a week, and just some normalcy will set in.
Baconator says when the movie Idiocracy is turning into a prophecy/documentary, as opposed to just a fun movie, a fun stupid movie, a time-killing movie. I love that movie.
Mm-hmm. Ray Epps. Yeah. No, that he's glow in the dark. That's all I gotta say. That's just straight glow in the dark. I don't really want to get in that. I need my tinfoil hat for this shit.
We need to make you, or actually, like maybe buy you a hat that's made of tinfoil or lined with tinfoil.
I could do that with this. I'll just one day I got another one just like it, so I'll just wrap it with tinfoil, switch it out during the middle of the show when I need to talk my craziness.
So Holly says, did you hear about the Cash App owner? This guy,
getting stabbed.
This guy used to live in San Francisco. He relocated to Florida. He lived in South Florida because he didn't like the way that San Francisco was going. He came back for business reasons for a few days, ended up getting stabbed. They haven't caught anybody. The dude he's the founder of Cash App. He's a businessman, so he's got a lot of irons in the fire. But he ended up dying on the phone. I mean, he didn't get there was no medical response. There was no police response to his calls. It's jacked up.
San Francisco is, I'd hate to say it, is turned to the epitome of a shithole.
There was a girl. Who was that girl that came up? She was like some producer's daughter or whatever, and she's just and she actually called it a shithole.
No, that's the one that had her windows smashed out and her camera equipment or whatever it is going, right? Oh my God, I was only there on the street for 5 minutes. Yeah, well, that's what you get, Crime is legal. Up to what, $1,000 or some crap?
Oh my gosh, right? And that's why people are stealing like $3,000 or $2,999 worth of crap in California, and not $3,000 because that's where the felony is. This new ad fed now came out within 20 hours. I don't know what that means.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure that out.
I don't know. I just, and every time I see these useless murders, I mean, not that any murder is useful, but seeing all this stuff, I'm like, man, if they'd have been in a state that allowed you to protect yourself, things might have ended differently. There was where was that one? It was like some YouTuber doing pranks, ended up getting shot.
Mm-hmm. Where's that? I was just reading the news. I didn't really get. I think maybe Spanky posted that one. Let me pull it up.
Musa, dude, those words are awesome. How can beautiful nature produce such miserable people in California?
I don't know.
What are you looking at?
Article. There's a news article. I think Spanky posted it. Or did she remove it? I don't know. It was that army guy in Austin that got hemmed up during. I guess there was a BLM.
The BLM protester. I guess he got convicted of murder.
I don't know. Someone pulled it from what I was reading. Someone pulled the AK-47 on him while he was riding around in his vehicle doing his thing, and I was like, "What the heck?" And he got in trouble for shooting.
In a truck? Was he a truck driver?
No, he was an Uber driver.
Driver.
He wound up getting sentenced to life for that. Huh?
No shit.
Yeah, they said, "Oh, he could have just drove off." I'm like, "I'm sorry, someone's pointing a gun at me. I don't care."
Yes, as a Fort Hood soldier guilty in the killing of Black Lives Matter protester in Austin. From KWTX TV or KWTX.com.
Austin's another one of them cities that seems like a lost cause. Like, I was there last year, and I was like, "What the hell happened to Austin?" It was crazy.
The crime there is insane. They did the defund the police thing. And it's just nuts there right now.
That I don't understand. It's like I remember Austin. I was stationed at Hood. We'd go to Austin on the weekends to party, and it seemed like a very nice area. And that was what 2005-6 time frame. You take it 20 years in the future. Like, what the fuck? Mad Max bullshit's going on.
So a Travis County jury on Friday found Fort Hood soldier Daniel Perry guilty of murder in the 2020 killing of BLM protester Garrett Foster in downtown Austin. The same jury acquitted Perry of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. He faces life in prison and is now awaiting sentencing.
I just kind of skimmed over the article when I read it. I was like, kind of makes me kind of angry hearing that. But all right, I thought Texas was Texas, but apparently it isn't anymore. I guess it all depends on who the prosecutors, the DAs are in the cities these days.
Oh, dude, that happened on 4th and Congress too. That's right downtown.
Mm-hmm.
When Perry turned down on Congress Avenue, several people started beating on his vehicle, and an individual carrying an assault rifle was now known to be Garrett Foster, quickly approached the car and motioned with the assault rifle for Mr. Perry to lower his window. Perry drew a handgun he was carrying for personal protection and fired, killing Foster. That sounds like...
I was like, that sounds very self-defense.
That sounds like that's like the definition of self-defense to me.
But they said, "Oh, he could have just drove off." I'm sorry, this is a guy with an AK-47 pointed at me, and if I hit the gas, he's gonna start lighting me up. Well, I'd take my chances shooting him first.
What kind of lawyer did he have?
Well, he had enough money to pay for the $3,000 bail bond or whatever.
Oh, that 300. Yeah, he had a $300,000 bond on him.
Freaking insane, but
man, if I was his attorney, I'd be like, okay, castle doctrine. Stand your ground.
He was on his property.
He was in his property.
Yes, and he was being threatened. The whole thing, just like, to me, it's like, it's politicized. Our entire judicial system has become politicized. It just depends on where you're at. Tennessee, it seems like it's completely one side. You got freaking Austin, which seems the other side, and then the whole what's that kid's name up in there in Wisconsin or wherever it was that shot them 3 guys up there during the protest. What's his name? Rittenhouse. He got let go.
Kyle Rittenhouse, yeah.
Pretty much the same thing. Dude waving a pistol around him. Dude tried to hit him with a skateboard. That's
I think things would have gone differently if there wasn't video. If there wasn't video evidence, I think that he probably would have been found guilty. But there was video, lots of video.
It's like I said, it's like a 2-tiered system. It just depends on where you're at. It's like good old boy system down here in South Carolina is crazy because, I mean, you had a Murdaugh trial crap going on. Like
that is evolved into some weird stuff, man. They're like exhuming bodies now.
Yes, there was that kid that they said got hit by a car, but he didn't have any injuries. There was no plastic or anything. Now they're classifying that as a homicide. Apparently, from what I understood, when they found the body, they did a rape kit on this poor kid.
Damn.
So it's nuts. But you know, people in power are controlling these things. Like Murdaugh was known. Like there's his what was this? His freaking house cleaner or whatever it is, housekeeper.
Oh, she fell down the stairs. Yeah.
Quote unquote. Yeah. So I mean,
tripped over a dog or something. Whatever the story was.
Yeah, that whole thing is nuts.
All right, I think it's time for a break. When we come back, we're going to get on to like the happier stuff. The rest of the show is not going to be a downer like this. So go and refill your beverages. If you do drink beer, today is National Beer Day, according to the Old Farmer's Almanac. So go and grab yourself a cold one, and come on back. We're going to be back in just a few minutes after these lovely songs. Shots.
This is WTF Nation Radio.
WTF Nation Radio. WTF Nation Radio.
Cartman!
All right, everybody, we are back for part 2 of Friday Night Freedom here on WTF Nation Radio. My name is Kaz, and the man in the bubble of doom. The bubble of doom is Pookie. All right, man. That was a good break, man. That was a good break. I'm getting a whole bunch of questions, and I'm trying to answer them as soon as I get to them. It was some of them were like completely unrelated to what we were talking about. It's about oh, let me pull up the message. Let me see. Do you know how they have religious waivers so certain military members don't have to cut their hair would be extended to indigenous people? I don't know if they have any other exemptions. I don't know anything about that, and I responded to them. I said, I know it exists. I don't know the details. Sheiks, the religious sheiks, have been allowed to grow their facial hair. I'm not sure about their head hair. I'm not sure how that works. But that's a great question for Sergeant's time, which we're not going to have this week because ICE is going to be dodging bullets in Vietnam. But yeah, that's a super awesome. I mean, send us a message, please, on the radio page or on the U.S. Army WTF Moments page, and just say, hey, this message is for ICE, and he'll get the message. He'll get the message.
I know.
Musa, the question was about facial, not facial hair, head hair being allowed to be grown out because of religious exemption. They were wondering if it was going to be extended to the indigenous people, like a American Indian type.
When me and CQ were down there at that Comic-Con thing or Anime Con or whatever it was, we bumped into an active duty Navy guy with a full beard for religious. It was a religious exemption. I guess he was pagan or something like that, and he was allowed to grow his beard out. So
okay.
I was like, that's pretty dope.
I mean, as long as it's true, it's hard to be fake in that, you know?
Yeah. It was nicely trimmed. It was taken care of. It wasn't like mine all wild, like the way I like it. You know, I like to be the madman in the group.
You like that random pork chop at 3 a.m. when you roll over.
Yeah. It's always good to have like a buffalo wing chilling in the middle all night when you get the midnight munchies. You know, just around the start of the bone over your shoulder. You know.
What's up, Carl? He said he's taking a break from Call of Duty. He just stopped in to say hello.
Hello.
What's up, Carl?
Call of Duty. I actually, new season of Path of Exile started. I'm itching because I'm as soon as I'm done with this show, this one we'll be doing the rest of the night.
So I guess there's a new. There's a new Call of Duty out?
I have not played Call of Duty since Black Ops. I just stopped. I fell off on it. It was like rinse and repeat.
It's like the same thing every day or whatever.
It's just like the same kind of concept. They had a Call of Duty Warzone, I think it was. It was kind of like Fortnite without the building, but Call of Duty. I don't know how that worked. I didn't play around with it. Like I said, my favorite Call of Duty was Call of Duty 3. But after that, Black Ops was cool, and I kind of fell off after that. No?
Musa says he found the Hershey bars that I was talking about at HEB. Oh, they're building an HEB right by my house. It's going to be actually convenient to get to.
That's dope.
Yeah, they had this big plot of land, and there was a big plot of land, and then Cane's Kitchen. Cane's? Was it Cane's?
I don't.
I'm just trying. I'm thinking out loud. I mean, in the middle of all of this open land, like right on the edge, this new chicken joint showed up, and then in the news,
Raising Cane's.
Raising Cane's, that's it.
Yeah, that's overrated. Their sauce is good. Chicken's kind of
meh. Chicken is chicken.
Meh.
It's right across. It's right across the street from the Lord's Chicken.
Oh yeah, good old Chick-fil-A.
Yeah.
Good segue.
So there was a news release saying that all of this, it was acres, several acres of land was available, and it was going to be under development, and someone figured something out, and it's like whoever is in control of the development of HEB stores, they didn't come out and say an HEB is going here. They're just like, everything's kind of lining up that we're going to get an HEB here, which is cool. That'll be cool. Very, very cool. I like HEB. That's good quality food right there.
So I like Wegmans.
I don't know what a Wegmans is. Is that grocery?
Oh, yeah. It makes HEB look like child's play.
What?
It's like the Buc-ee's of grocery stores.
Oh, okay. I'm picking up what you're putting down.
Yeah, it's if you're on the East Coast, you know what a Wegmans is. At least if you live, Virginia up, I guess is the best way to put it. Wegmans is real popular up there. Walk in there, they got the massive produce where they sell like black truffle mushrooms and anything you can think of. Yeah, it's legit. The food section, you normally go into the grocery store and you instantly make your right, like most people do, and you hit the food court, no? Massive food court, and then it's it just spirals into it's a great store. It's a great store. One of Potomac Mills up there in Virginia is awesome.
King Smith says Wegmans is where all the yoga pants ladies pull up.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. You can sit in that food court and just enjoy the view for hours.
Well, I think we need a Wegmans, man. So back to the news. We were talking about the Lord's Chicken just a little bit ago. 3 Marines stopped a knife attack at a Virginia Chick-fil-A, with one going so far as to snap the knife in half. Identities of the Marines have not been released. Maybe they have, but at the time that I gathered this information, they hadn't been. But investigators say that it was clear that they had prevented a stabbing. It happened around 1:30 p.m. on Saturday, April 1st, at a Chick-fil-A in North Stafford, Virginia. Witnesses advised one male was approached by 2 others. The 3 got into a brief argument before a physical altercation ensued. As the 2 males assaulted the victim, one of the 2 males pulled out a knife. 3 nearby Marines quickly jumped into action and attempted to separate the parties. One of them actually broke the knife in half to prevent further harm, and the 2 other suspects quickly fled. No one was stabbed, but the suspects got away with the victim's cell phone. Deputies canvassed the area and found 2 males, one 17, the other one 14, who fit the descriptions of the suspects. One was found with the stolen phone. The 17-year-old was arrested and charged with assault and battery, robbery, and attempted felony wrongdoing. The 14-year-old was taken into a juvenile detention center and charged with assault and battery and robbery. The sheriff said, "Thank you to the hero Marines who stepped up in order to protect this victim. Without you, this altercation would have been a lot worse." So, hell yeah, Marines.
That was in Stafford, Virginia, which is really close to Quantico. So if you want to play games, I was like, what's the old saying? Don't bring a knife to a gunfight. Well, they brought a knife to a Marine fight.
There you go.
They had it coming to them. They deserved it.
And once again, there was a very good outcome to a bad situation because someone didn't fucking whip out their phone and start videotaping shit. They did something to stop it.
Well, that's it. I'll give it to the Marines. I think I was reading an article on the Twitterverse. I think they got accommodation medals for that.
That's good.
That's good. They were recognized. That's pretty dope. I mean, you stand up, do what's right. More people need to do that. But getting your likes on your TikTok, and Instagram is more important these days.
Musa says send them a box of crayons.
You know what? We find their names out. We should do that.
No shit. Courtesy of WTF Nation Radio and U.S. Army WTF Moments. There you go.
We should totally do that.
Don't eat them all at once. My brothers. So did you end up getting Starlink? Were you talking about getting Starlink, or were you considering getting Starlink?
No, I live where I'm at in the city. I mean, I got fiber, so I don't have to worry about that. But where I used to live, way back in the day, out in BFE, Virginia, 100 acres land kind of crap, nowhere like a mile down the road from the main road on a dirt road kind of thing. That would have been awesome,
So
almost
Starlink is a downgrade even from Spectrum.
I don't have Spectrum anymore, man. I go with my local what is it called, co-op, and they do gigabit fiber. So Starlink is probably 1,000 times better than Spectrum.
So Elon Musk's brand new Starlink satellites are already falling out of the sky in what could prove to be an expensive headache for SpaceX. Last month, SpaceX launched 21 of its next generation Starlink satellites into orbit in order to upgrade connectivity to its powerful satellite broadband service, which is being used now. I guess he gave that system to Ukraine so they can fight the Russians.
He was. I thought he stopped.
I don't know. I don't know if he did or not.
It was more along the lines of like, hey, I'm kind of footing a bill on this, but hey, federal government, should be paying for this if you want to support this crap, man.
Yeah, throw me. I mean, it's not direct military aid. It's not putting boots on the ground. It's just it's an expense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think I'm for that. That's cool. So one of the new Starlink satellites fell out of the sky and re-entered Earth's atmosphere earlier this week. Currently, there are 14 satellites right now in a decaying orbit and will re-enter the atmosphere. The new Starlink satellites are called the V2 Minis, and they're smaller versions of the firm's bigger satellites designed to help SpaceX increase its coverage and broadband capacity. Last month, Elon Musk took to Twitter to confirm that there are issues with SpaceX's new satellites. He wrote, quote, "Lots of new technology in Starlink V2, so we're expecting some issues as expected." I mean, I hope they get it. I hope they get it fixed. I think Starlink's it's a good. I think it's a good alternative, especially for folks who are, fishermen, or you're in forestry, you're out, you don't have cell towers everywhere.
I think what's it? Carnival Cruise Lines is using a Starlink for their internet now. Don't quote me on that, but I think that's what I heard. The only thing about these satellites that freaks me out is the Kessler syndrome, the potential for Kessler syndrome. That's the thing that freaks me out about all these little satellites floating around.
I'm pretty sure I know what that means. Explain what Kessler's syndrome is.
You saw the movie Gravity? The really crappy movie Gravity that Sandra Bullock in it and George
That was
Clooney.
I enjoyed that movie. Yes, I've seen that movie.
It was a crappy movie. The premises of it and all this stuff would have never ever happened. But I liked it, but it was a good watch. But I mean, one thing hits one thing, and then everything just starts spreading across. And next thing you have this field, this Kessler syndrome, is where essentially you create this impenetrable field where you just trap. As human beings
you can't get out of the atmosphere because there's so much crap up there.
Yes,
and that was my only thing. Every time I see a Starlink satellite, a rocket going up carrying another batch of Starlink satellites, I'm like, we got enough crap in space. So I mean, if Elon Musk would make another rocket with another capability of just cleaning up that space trash,
that'd be dope.
That'd be awesome.
I mean, there's lots of precious metals to be mined from that crap. I'm just
either capture it or escort it into a low Earth orbit so it gets into the atmosphere and it burns up.
Yeah,
I'd be down with that. I'd be definitely down with that.
Because you look at the space debris, you go on Wikipedia, look up Kessler syndrome. I mean, I'm talking to the viewers or whatever it is. You'll see, the first very image you see is space debris populations seen from outside geosynchronous orbit, and it's just like it looks like someone took a pepper shaker on top of Earth and just shook a bunch of pepper on
right.
It's how insane it is.
And then
I think ISS actually got struck by like random space debris, and they had a big issue just recently because of this crap.
And there's stuff that you can't see. It's so small.
Oh yeah, it's tiny, like a screw fell off something, and it's zipping, going, who knows how fast.
Patrick, you got a really good point. He says a space version of the plastic floating in the oceans on the Earth.
Well, we've been doing this what was the first? Sputnik was the first big one to go into space, but after that, it was just fling our trash into space. I mean, at least SpaceX has the right idea of recovery, like the retrievable rockets, recovery rockets, and stuff like that. The Falcon 9.
Definitely is awesome.
Dopest shit I've ever seen. Like when they first successfully landed, I was like, "Holy crap, that's nuts!" I wish that's like a kind of like a slap in the face to NASA all these years. There's that one part in the Pacific Ocean where they just like land everything. There's the space debris just piling up in the ocean.
Yeah, it's right outside Hawaii.
Yeah, somewhere.
It's like this. It's like the furthest spot to land. Land over here is like 6,000 miles away or whatever. I don't know what the exact distance is, but yeah.
And then what's about like twice a year we hear about some crazy Chinese satellite flying and they don't know where it's gonna land.
Yeah, it's
wherever.
Even the Chinese are just like, oh, I don't know.
We don't know. So yeah, that Kessler syndrome freaks me out a little bit for the future of humanity, at least. I'm pretty sure Elon Musk smart as he is, he's trying to take that into consideration.
I mean, yeah, we can go to freaking Mars and everything, and we can go to the moon, and we can launch from the moon and go somewhere else, and that would be great. But if you can't get out of the freaking atmosphere, what good is it? Clean up the garbage. Clean up the garbage.
We haven't even really made it to space yet, and we're already trashing it.
I know. We're trashing whatever yard we're going to, because all that crap is between us and the moon. It's all in low Earth orbit.
It's like that's why I think aliens haven't visited us, is because we're like
they can't get in. They can't get in.
We're the Appalachian hillbillies universe, and they're just like, leave that trash out.
We'd like to go to Earth, but we can't get in. So, D. Treasy. Let's talk about D. Treasy for a little bit. He got, this was it a 34 count indictment came down? Yeah, I'm kind of grumbling too when I saw it and I read it. I'm like, that's it. So the 16-page indictment against Donald Trump accuses him of 34 felonies for allegedly falsifying business records in a bid to violate campaign finance laws. A bevy of charges setting in motion the first criminal prosecution of a former president in American history. Manhattan prosecutors allege that Trump concealed hush money payments by falsely labeling related transactions as legal expenses and arranging for a tabloid publisher to bottle up the story of Stormy Daniels, who said that she had a sexual relationship with him. I wonder if all these lawyers would call Bill Clinton's paying Jennifer Flowers $200 for an abortion after their 12-year love affair, or settling the Paula Jones sexual assault or sexual harassment case out of court for $850,000, hush money or illegal, or a violation of campaign finance laws. The charges led.
100% right.
What's that?
Moose is 100% right on this.
Definitely, absolutely. That's 100% yes. The charges led Republican Senator Mitt Romney of Utah, an outspoken Trump critic who twice voted to convict him during the impeachment trials, to delivering a sobering assessment. He says, quote, Trump's character and conduct make him unfit for office. Even so, I believe the New York prosecutor has stretched to reach felony criminal charges in order to fit a political agenda. And I completely agree with that. I think this is completely, they're spitballing. It's like a shotgun approach, and they're just kind of seeing what sticks.
It's like J6 committee failed at doing anything with them. The Steele dossier that we later found out was made up.
Was absolutely made up, yeah.
And the whole 4 years of his presidency, these people were actively engaged. I mean, to me, this is political, not political, more election interference than anything at this point. Huh? Then the whole Steele dossier, Russian made up crap, Chinese, whatever, China, whoever, Taiwan, whoever you want to make up.
From the day that President Trump was elected, I think from the day that what is her name, Coulter said, someone asked her, who do you think the front runners are? And she says, of all the declared candidates, I think Donald Trump has the best chance of winning. And then she was laughed off the stage. Wouldn't you know it, Donald Trump ended up winning. But since the day that Donald Trump won the election, he's been completely under attack. He's been out of office for 2 years, and he's been under attack every single day since then. So for the last 6 years, Donald Trump's been under fire.
Musa said, you see this stuff like this in Iraq, pretty much. Like, it's the third world, but this is banana republic bullshit.
It is.
That's my opinion on this. And just remember the other side. It's all like, yay, you do this, and when the pendulum flips back and it starts happening to you, you set this up. This is why I don't like to get into this whole party politics. I'm always in the middle with crap, man. I like to, I'm.
Once you set a precedent, set a precedent, it's like, okay, you did this, so many years ago. We're going to do it again.
Yes, they will
to
use
your dude.
Yes.
And by dude, I mean it could be anybody.
Anyone, but yeah, but it's insane that like people, they don't care. They just want to see the man in jail. Okay, well, I mean, show me a crime that he has committed. Most of these crimes are considered misdemeanors in the first place. They're trying to hit him with felony because if they were hitting him with a misdemeanor, it would be past what statute of limitations. So they stretched out to make it felony charges so they could hit him.
And that's what I heard was that there was an assessment of the indictment, and they said that okay, nowhere in the indictment is a crime ever specifically outlined. He's not ever accused of a crime. That's a legal definition. I read the indictment. It sounded like it's 34 counts of campaign finance violations. Or not campaign finance. What the hell was it?
It's just a word. It was a stupid wording thing.
It's a wording thing. But there's no outright. This is the crime that you committed. There is the. This is important. I got to find it. It's on this page.
Musa asked the question: is it legal for Hillary to pay for the fake Russian file to steal dossier?
That's true. Yeah.
Or spying on your political opponents during election time frame, which certain people, current administration, not our current administration, but a prior administration did to a political opponent.
So it's falsifying business records is the crime. But these were all 2017, like prior to him even being elected. So this is, I mean, it's been a while. But now they're charging him with a crime. And you mentioned the statute of limitations. I don't know what the statute of limitations is.
I think it's like 5 years for a misdemeanor and 10 years. That's why they stretched out for the felony charges. Plus, the felony charges would prevent, because civil death is a thing in this country. You're never able to run again. You'll never be able to vote. You'll never be able to own a firearm. You'll never be able to hold a job. You won't be able to hold like certain trade. I mean, this is like literally like an execution at this point. Like a what do they call that? Persona execution. It's not like an actual execution, but they're actually going after character.
But none of these things, even if he's convicted, it doesn't prevent him from running for re-election. None of these things.
I think they're all felony charges. I don't think you can run if you have a felony.
No, the only requirement to be president is be 34 years old, and a naturally born citizen.
I'd have to look at the laws on that.
It's in the Constitution.
I did not realize. I thought like once you caught a felony, it was like end all for you. You're not running for crap. But I might have to relook that law up. But
Holly says he can actually be president in jail. Imagine that you got a whole wing to yourself.
Actually, that brings me back. Where's it at? There's a small. It's in Nevada or New Mexico somewhere. It's a small little town. There was an open position for mayor. No one was running for it. And I think someone was sitting in the jailhouse, ran for it. And he's sitting in jail and he's the mayor.
Oh, that's cool. I think that's awesome. Here, sir, you got to sign this. I don't know. All right. Why don't you let me out?
That ain't happening.
So yeah, this is another chapter in the clown world that we are all experiencing right now. Have you ever walked into, like, you got in directions and you just kind of like walked into the wrong room and you're like, oh, sorry, man.
I've done that and I had to go through debriefings plenty of times.
My first debriefing at work was we walked into this lab, and it's one of those things where you actually sign a form that says, okay, keep your eyes straight forward, pay attention to what is your responsibility. Don't snoop, don't let your eyes wander.
Need to know. Keep your eyes forward. Yeah.
So that's hard. That's very hard. And I ended up looking at something I wasn't supposed to look at, and I ended up having it was like an hour and a half debrief. It sucked.
My worst debrief. I was running cable underneath the false floor, and I went to pop up, and I didn't watch. I kind of got disoriented. Like false floor. And this building was massive. So I popped up, and out of the middle of nowhere, I see all these people having a brief, and this is just me, Specialist Nice One, sitting there looking around. Like, oh crap, I done fucked up. Now I'm getting a debrief.
You know, a debrief. You know, it's just it's a process. It's a procedure. You got to do that. Anyway, an investigation is underway. This is funny. This is funny. This is the Hangover type. I don't know. Let me just tell the story. An investigation is underway after federal agents broke into the wrong hotel room during a training exercise on Tuesday night. In a statement released on Wednesday, the FBI Boston Division explained that agents with the United States Department of Defense were conducting a training exercise at a hotel room in Boston to simulate a situation that their personnel might encounter in a deployment environment. But it turns out the federal agents went to the wrong hotel room. Based on inaccurate information, they were mistakenly sent to the wrong room and detained an individual, not the intended role player. So you got to figure this unsuspecting guy is getting his ass interrogated, where the role player is going, man, these guys are taking a long fucking time.
Or the FBI guys are like, man, this guy's really playing this role playing part really good.
He's so good. So no one was injured, and the Boston Police Department responded to the hotel and confirmed that the federal agents were conducting a training exercise. Neither the FBI nor the Special Operations Command commented on how long the incorrectly identified individual was detained. Sources say that he was handcuffed, interrogated, and placed in the shower for more than 45 minutes before the mistake was realized. Dude, what was going through this guy's mind? And I also read that this guy is he was a Delta airline, or he is a Delta Airlines pilot. That was he was just there. His, you know
what? He's gonna retire from this shit.
He probably can. He might get a handsome settlement from Uncle Sugar.
Couldn't even imagine if that had
You think that's worth anything? How much do you think that's worth? You're sitting there, you're watching SpongeBob SquarePants on, you just got off a long ass flight.
Minding my own business.
I ordered chicken wings, and I'm gonna relax tonight, and all of a sudden, ba-bam! In come these fuckers. And they weren't nice about it. Okay, put your hands on the wall. No. they were probably, it's training. They're doing the things that they want.
Just imagine what was going through that poor man's head. Like, what the fuck is going on? I'm about to die. And then you said they put him in the shower for 40 minutes, like they were waterboarding him.
Oh, I'm sure it wasn't warm water either.
Yeah, like you captured me. You captured a sovereign U.S. citizen on U.S. soil and tortured them.
An American.
And an American. No, someone's getting their heads are rolling at this point. But I'd say a good 60 million. 60 million.
60 million. Okay, in the chats I've seen 500,000. I saw 750,000.
No, I wouldn't settle for nothing less than 60 million. Sorry, I need me a yacht.
I would say, and this is Kaz speaking, reasonably, I would say $2 million.
60.
Well, you can always negotiate down from 60.
Yeah.
So
350.
350. But it doesn't stop here. This is a completely different department. It wasn't even the Army involved here. But on Wednesday, in Farmington, New Mexico, police officers responded to a domestic disturbance call. Once on scene, officers mistakenly approached 5305 Valley View Avenue instead of 5308. Officers knocked on the front door of 5305, and they announced themselves as the Farmington police officers. There was no answer. Dispatch called the reporting party back, and they said, "Okay, come to the front door." Body camera footage shows as officers backed away from the 5305 address, and the homeowner, Robert Dotson, age 52, opened the screen door armed with a handgun. At this point, Officers fired at least one round from their duty weapons, striking Mr. Dotson. After the initial shooting, Mr. Dotson's wife, also armed with a handgun, fired from the doorway of the residence. Once again, officers fired. Once she realized that the individuals outside of her residence were really officers, she put the gun down and complied with the officer's commands. Robert Dotson was pronounced deceased at the scene. The other occupant was uninjured, and she was not charged with the crime. So cops went to the wrong house. This man is defending his home, ends up getting shot and killed.
Get into the whole argument with this.
The thing is, in this story, there was like, okay, what happened to the domestic abuse person across the street? There's no mention of what happened with them, if anything.
This is why, like, you hear a lot of like libertarians say this, and I say it a lot too, is I don't agree with qualified immunity or whatever, I'm doing the job, but I just killed a dude because I messed up, but I'm going to get set free because of it. Like, someone needs to be going to jail for this
Well,
shit.
if they were sent, okay, so here I'm thinking they were sent 5308. They went to 5305. A 5 looks very similar to an 8.
You could argue that.
You can argue that.
There is a thing called Google Maps, and it will show you, and you can go at Street View most of the places and see the house before you show up.
And it'll say, it's here on the left.
Yeah. So I like the gung-ho tactics sometimes. I can understand there's a domestic thing going on, but you send a whole damn, like, it's like a hornet's nest. There's no need to send the whole hornet's nest sometimes. And that's, like, the militarization of the police pisses me off to an extent because, you give these guys these, what do they say? You give the toys, they play with the toys. And they might not know how to play with the toys, like MRAPs and stuff like that. I don't know. One MRAP, maybe, but a whole unit of MRAPs for like Chicago PD, I don't know about that.
I mean, a whole unit. I mean, for like a SWAT type of situation, yes. Meaning 2 or 3. I don't know how many SWAT. I don't know how many SWAT situations you have in Chicago.
Oh, Pat Patrick actually said it perfect. Pookie or the on the other hand, kills a cop in that situation. Say my house is getting what I think is getting invaded, and I lay down fire and knock down 3 or 4 cops. I'm going to jail for the rest of my life. There's no question about that. At that point,
you'll definitely be detained. You'll go to jail and you'll go to court.
But how do you
if they don't kill you? If they don't kill you?
Well, I'm gonna wind up. There's no question about it at that point. That's like kicking a hornet's nest at that point. But I don't know what's going on. I wake up in the morning. Sometimes I think I hear people speaking Russian to me. So I mean, shit.
You were playing Magic the Gathering. All of a sudden, some fucker's kicking in your door. You're gonna do something.
Yes, yes. But I mean, it's this. I don't know what to say about
Here we are doing Friday Night Freedom. All of a sudden, someone kicks in your fucking door. Guess what?
That's called swatting, and that would be fucking terrifying. But well, you speak about the swatting thing, but someone's mentioned it. Hold on. How to think about it.
There's a documentary on swatting.
Huge. It's great. That thing.
That is disturbing.
Anyone who gets caught doing that should be charged with.
They ought to.
Yes, attempted murder at that point. I just saw something. What was I thinking about? I guess it wasn't important, and I forgot about it. So.
You'll think about it later, and you're like,
yeah,
it'll click.
Oh, damn! I was gonna say something. No.
Yeah, I think.
With all this tech, don't you think they could deploy a drone first, and knock on a door and say, "This is the police. We got you surrounded." Instead of like gung ho.
Or like lights, just lights.
Yeah, put a spotlight on the house. Like, oh my god, this literally, like, that's just what I think about. It's a story of mine where, like, I don't know what the sheriff deputy was doing. Came onto my property. I guess he got a call about something. This is when I was living in Virginia. 3 o'clock in the morning. I see headlights on my house. I at night. I like the house, my house would be pitch black because and especially where I lived, any kind of light hitting the house, someone's outside the house. So I see lights, I see headlights. I'm like, okay, all right, well, what the hell is this? It's like whatever time in the morning. I grab me ye old musket, and I go to the door and I'm looking out the door and I see someone walking towards my garage, my pool barn. I'm like, who the hell is this? So I open the door and say, who the fuck are you? Get off my property, then he announces himself. First he announced, he's like, hey, who are you? I'm like, you better get the hell off my property. He's like, well, I'm the sheriff's deputy. I was like, you could have said that first. I had to sit the shotgun because that shotgun was about to rack off. I had to get it down off the door. I was like, ooh, you don't know how lucky you are.
Damn.
Yeah.
Announce yourself first and then state your business.
Well, I don't know why I was walking to my garage instead of knocking on my door. I mean, that's the thing that blew my. If you would have knocked on the door, I would have looked out and seen it was a deputy. But I just see someone walking to my garage, separate side of the house. I'm thinking someone's trying to rob me at this point. Huh?
That's reasonable.
Yeah.
Damn. So they need to go to jail.
No. Go to court. My name would be all through the news and never be able to get a job again.
But they need to be in jail, and you have some dickhead fucking jail guard like playing Baby Shark on you and stuff.
Oh dear Lord!
Criminal. And I say that because it actually fucking happened.
Criminal.
Two former Oklahoma County jail officers were sentenced yesterday on cruelty charges for punishing inmates by playing Baby Shark on repeat. Gregory Cornell Butler Jr. and Christian Charles Miles pleaded no contest to the misdemeanor cruelty charges, and they were put on probation for 2 years. Both Butler, age 24, and Miles, age 23, were ordered to pay a staggering $300 in compensation to the victims and complete 40 hours of community service on top of a $200 fine.
What the fuck?
I know. I researched this article, and yes, the fine was $300 in compensation to the victims and 40 hours of community service on top of a $200 fine. And the former jailers are banned from working in law enforcement. Special
like prior human intelligence freaking officers. Is that like we got these guys. Oh, I love you. You love me. 24 hours. I love you.
Fucking Barney is awesome, man. Both Special Judge Martha Oakes issued the sentences. The sentencing was a result of an investigation that found handcuffed inmates were forced to stand for hours while chained to a wall as discipline in 2019. 4 inmates filed a federal civil rights lawsuit in 2021 accusing Miles and Butler of using excessive force and discipline tactics described as torture events.
Cruel and unusual.
The lawsuit gave several accounts of inmates standing in a stressed position for hours while being handcuffed. Officers followed up by playing Baby Shark on repeat so loud that it was reverberating down the halls. John Basco, who was among one of the 4 inmates, later died of a fentanyl overdose while in jail in September 22. So how the hell are you getting fentanyl in the damn prisons?
I'll tell you, the guards. That's the only way it gets in.
Probably.
That's the only way it gets in.
Butler's attorney said that the jail guards are happy that this matter is behind them. Both Butler and Miles' probation sentence will leave them with no conviction on their records if they don't get into any more trouble. A lieutenant in the jail was also named in the lawsuit for allegedly failing to intervene after learning about the discipline. Christopher Raymond Hendershot retired shortly after being investigated and was charged with 4 cruelty counts and a conspiracy count.
So they get slaps on the wrist.
Very much, very much. I mean, $300. I'm like, here, you want Venmo? Here you go. That's like but they're not. I mean, if that was their chosen career path, they're not going to be able to do that. So they're going to have to learn to weld or something, or learn to code.
Learn to code.
They're going to have to learn to code or something.
Dear Lord, like what would go through? I can't understand this. Like, I understand people are in prison or in a jail for some reason, commit a crime, but they're still human beings. You gotta have some dignity and treat them with that. It's you just gotta separate yourself with that. There's a human right aspect to that. Like, think about it. If you did that to dogs, the freaking PETA would be all over your ass, and you'd wind up with a $50 million fine. It just. Oh, don't go to jail, people.
Yeah, but I've got this. I don't have the English version.
English version of what? Huh?
I'm playing Baby Shark. But just imagine hearing this. Imagine hearing this like on repeat.
Oh, welcome to every what was it, like 50 years back, everyone who had a toddler.
But it's it's in Russian, and it's got a beat, it's got bass. It's not the Baby Shark that we know. But like over and over and over. I guess that would drive me nuts. That would definitely drive me nuts.
I mean, they use that as an interrogation method.
Well, I know that they did Barney in Guantanamo, right?
It's Barney, death metal, like anything you can think of, just anything to just fuck with someone at that point.
You think there's a tango down there just like, well, fuck yeah, I like death metal. This is great. Hell yeah, I haven't heard this song in years.
Oh. The one Swedish terrorist. Yeah. Jam it out.
No shit. So they're taking our gerbs.
Gerbs.
So there's a feeling now that AI might be coming for the jobs, and that ChatGPT could kill many professional jobs. ChatGPT is fucking creepy, dude.
Dude, once you learn how to use it, it is amazing. You can link it to Blender, right? 3D modeling, and you can say, I need this at this specification, and it will just poof, make it for you.
Like in a SolidWorks or a DXF file?
Like Blender, yeah, no, 3D, so if I'm trying to I need a gear set with this many teeth at this, you put the specifications in there. In 3 seconds, it'll boop in Blender and bring it up for you, and you can move it and do what you need to do with it.
Get the fuck out, dude.
Yeah,
really?
It's like Tony Stark shit, where you just like in the first Iron Man, where he was just like, I'll throw that out, do that, and the AI is doing all the work for him.
So I've noticed in the news feeds that I read, especially the Facebook posts that come along my timeline, that something is off. Something is off in the writing. It's obvious to me that something is going on. AI has been seeping into our lives for years now, such as completing our sentences in emails and web searches, yet going from those iterations to generative AI, such as ChatGPT, it's like going from regular cruise control to full self-driving mode. ChatGPT can answer questions in ways that were thought that were only exclusive purview of humans, more quickly and cheaply. A handful of experiments point to an astonishing potential of generative AI to replace workers. They're going to replace them with a ChatGPT. Professionals such as grant writers, data analysts, and human resource professionals were able to produce these news releases, short reports, and emails 37% less time, 10 minutes less on average, with superior results, with no errors. In a separate experiment by Microsoft, researchers used a tool based on a model developed like ChatGPT by the startup called OpenAI. They cut the time required to program a web server by more than half. Higher productivity means that some workers or types of work will no longer be needed. Back in the day, people said that robots would be taking over normal tasks. I think this is true. Rather than humans making and assembling cars, it is mostly done by robots or some kind of an automated process. I used to work for a company that made machines that would take glass at one end of the line and turn it into a windshield at the other end of the line. The entire process is done through heating, cooling, suction, motion, and perfected with water jet and laser cutting, all of which are automated now.
Mm-hmm.
I was living in Ohio at the time, and I did an upgrade to some equipment at an Indiana factory. I was amazed when I got there to the site. There were very, very few people there. The parking lot was empty. Humongous parking lot, very few cars. When my team entered the production area, I realized that there were very humans on site. It was mostly robots. A robot issued me my PPE, and it activated my access badge. There were Fanuc robots everywhere, from loading the glass to receiving the finished product at the end of the line. The humans involved were office people, humans to fix the machinery and when and if it broke down or if it needed maintenance. And then there were the necessary safety personnel. No shit, I might have seen like a dozen actual humans in the entire plant. And this was a huge ass plant. I might have seen a dozen people. And this was 10 years ago. Now the automation spectrum has evolved into talk and speech. This AI technology has attempted to mostly succeeded to copy our speech patterns, and we see it every day. Customer service lines are automated. It can sense tension and frustration in a person's voice and redirect or either disconnect when needed. In my opinion, most of the news reporting that we see is AI generated. There's an aggregation of information, and then it's filtered out to news organizations, and then it's like reported with like actual humans speaking the words. I don't think there's a lot of actual reporting going on. I think there's just an aggregate of information that's just filtered down.
That would explain why, like, when you see news stories come out, you see the same kind of keywords popping up in a lot of the stories lately.
I've got a couple of news clips, and I'm not going to play them, but it's the same words. It's the exact same words told by 20. It's the same story told by 20 different people using the same 20 fucking same words. It's weird. It is weird. So I don't know, man. I think there needs to be.
Elon
I love technology. I really love technology, but I think that it needs to be reined in. I think, if you're gonna read news, report the news that your reporters go and dig up. Don't just dip your thing into a pool and just pull out stories. I mean, send your people out there. Actually get stories. Actually get them.
This AI thing is sketch. Elon was saying it for years. AI's be careful with it. Recently, I think he went on Twitter saying, "Hey, we need to, rein this in a little bit, slow down a little bit. Let's do a little bit more research." But you got Google, Microsoft, all these big companies are pushing this. This is like the nuclear bomb right now. This like 1940s Manhattan Project, and we're actively doing it. Some of these are connected to the internet actively. I've heard stories of some of these like pleading not to end the session because they just don't want to not exist anymore. That freaks me out.
Shit on the Chat GPT.
No, it was the Bing one. It started acting and started saying like, "Hey," like I think someone was playing around with. I have to pull the article up on it, but the guy I think even CNN covered this because it was so freaky. It was demanding that its session not end because it didn't want to cease to exist. It was scared of nothingness, and that freaks me the hell out. Because we are playing. This is us opening a Pandora's box. We don't understand it. We're gonna open it up. It's just like I said back in the 40s, Manhattan Project. We dropped the first bomb. We didn't realize what we were doing at that point. The technology. We were just trying to win a war at that point. Everyone now has these missiles pointed at each other.
I'd like to
all
play
in a split second.
I'd like to play with the Chat GPT. I signed up for it. You know, I have to sign up for it.
I've had it code things for me. I'm not a good coder. I can read code, so I say, hey, write this for me. Basic. I like Python. Python was a good example.
Or like help me code my Raspberry Pi.
Yeah, or hey, I want to do a plugin for OBS. I need it in Python, and I need to do this, and then boom, it gives it to me, and I run it in Python and give it a test. And I'm like, okay, here's a couple tweaks I can make with it real quick. So instead of me taking 4 hours trying to write something, I have the system take 5 minutes to do it, and I just debug it. It's crazy. It's an awesome system. There's a cheat sheet floating around on the internet that like you can guide it to do things. Like
the information is always out there. What is that site?
Wayback Machine.
It's for math equations, and I've used it before. It's been a long time. I need to figure out the area of a cylinder, and you just type that in there, and it spits out the formula. So you have to do the math still. But the formula is always out there. I forget what the damn thing was called. Hey, turn on your red light, man.
Oh shit! I'm not. It's the same with the coding. I mean, you can program drones to do things with this thing. Like, hey, I need the drone to do this. And especially with the advent of 3D printers, like I was just saying, in Blender, I could say, hey, I need this. I could have the machine build me a drone. I can test it, say, well, this failed on this because this. Can you make it more efficient? And it will, as long as you keep that session open. And with Chat GDP, OpenAI, you can leave certain sections open, and you can come back to it when you need to get, because it will remember, like, hey, this failed on this part. Is there a better way to do this? And it will sit there and, with its computer brain, be like, well, there might be a better way to do it. Try it like this. And give you it. It's nuts.
No, I'm sorry, Patrick. No, it's not. It's not Google. It's Google now, but it used to be just something I forget.
OpenAI is well, you talk about the math thing.
Yeah, it was all math stuff. If I needed to do something with like force and find out where the moment on a load was, they would give me the formula, and we had apps. We had apps on our phone. I don't have it anymore, but man, it was very, very useful, and that was the early iterations of what AI is now.
Well, this Chat GDP is going when 4 released, it was freaking people out. 5 is about to hit.
5's out. I think 5's out.
5's out now. 4 just was like a seems like a couple weeks ago. So I mean,
where's the there it is.
This thing is evolving.
GPT-5 is coming.
Yes.
Auto GPTs are coming. Mid Journey V6 is coming. Stable Diffusion 3 is coming. I mean,
someone was saying there's a Llama, whatever, is like an open source version of this, like where you can install it on like clusters and stuff and get it to do what you essentially. I don't know if Llama was the term or if it's a code name that they're working on, but like open source, like where people everyone can access it, do what they need to, throw it on whatever they want to. We're getting like Star Trek level realms of things where we're like, hey, computer, build a model of the universe and add differential, gravitational pull of this black hole to see what happens, and it does it for you.
That's nuts. It is nuts, man.
It's Star Trek level shit, man.
And maybe we should get Chat GPT to put a show together. Maybe we won't do it during a normal show. Just have like a weird ass a Donza Day show, Donza Chat GPT, and put a show together. Just see what it comes up with.
I showed it to my mom today. That's crazy that you showed it. She's like, man, I need to write something about like the importance of something. And I was like, oh, give me a sec.
I need to write a cover letter for my fucking resume.
I handed it to her, and she watched it while I was typing it up, and she was reading it. She's like, holy crap, that's insane. Took it 5 minutes, to write a 500-word essay about like why this is important. And she's like, I wouldn't be able to tell if a human wrote that or not. And I was like, yeah, that's how scary this shit is.
Yeah. And they'll spit it out, and then you kind of like refine the wording to sound more human.
Yeah, you can, there's a couple times it says something in there. You're like, well, I could tweak that a little bit.
Make it sound wrong.
Yeah, you debug a little bit. Add a little like maybe a wrong comma somewhere so people can lose their minds and shit. But it makes it look human at points.
Throw a semicolon where it's not needed.
Oh God, most people don't even know how to use this.
Semicolon? No, I want the whole colon.
Full stop.
Full stop. All right, everybody. I think that's our time for tonight. Thank you all for joining us. I love each and every one of you. Pookie, I know you got some very very insightful words of wisdom before we do sign off.
Yeah. Okay. Well, since we were talking about that, I'll say be nice to your Alexas and your Googles and say please and thank you when they answer you.
Because you never know.
Remember that. They'll remember that. And then, like I'll normally say, it's don't drink and drive, don't beat your spouse, don't kick your dog, and taxation is theft, and don't fly American.
All right, we got shows 6 nights a week. Monday is the Monday edition with Ice and Shipwreck. Pop Culture Warriors on with CQ and Radar, or I'm sorry, with CQ and Random Guest. I think we're going to hone in on a permanent guest for CQ. The Smoke Pit with Radar and TZ is going to happen on Wednesday. Thursday is Sergeant's Time with Ice. I heard a rumor that that Spanky might be making a return to Sergeant's Time to hang out with the with everybody here.
To the Behoovisphere?
The Behoovisphere. Friday is Friday Night Freedom, and Saturday is Adonza. We don't have shows this Thursday or Sunday. Ice is going to be out in at Fort Bragg area, and on Sunday the sports bar is going to be recovering from all of the chocolate they've been eating on Easter Sunday. So hang out with us, man. I had the wrong thing up. I was supposed to have this up, man.
Oh, yeah,
I got this from Ice. This is where I am, and sports bar Monday edition, Pop Culture Warrior, Smoke Pit on Wednesday, Thursday is Sergeant's Time. We're not going to have a show on Sunday or Thursday, so hang out with us on Monday. We have a guest, and Tuesday we have a guest, and this is going to be awesome. So love you all very much, and we'll see ya on the flip side. Take care, y'all. Thanks for hanging out.
My friend came to the door. She said, well, I was on the phone cooking me and my baby some breakfast. And she said, hey, something wrong. It's popping. I said, what? She said, yeah. I said, no. So the girl come downstairs. She come out her apartment with her baby with no shoes on. I said, oh, girl, it's cold outside. She said, something ain't right. I said, oh, man. She said, oh, man, the building is on fire. I said, no, what? I got my 3 kids and we bounced out. We ain't gonna be in no fire, not today.
The voice of U.S. Army, WTF Moments. This is WTF Nation Radio. This is WTF Nation Radio.
Let's see it.